Can you guys imagine being on tour, right? And you're on tour, you should be focused on your tour. You should be focused on entertaining your fans, but instead you're focused on Homeland Security. And while you're there busy focusing on Homeland Security, when Homeland Security has been doing what they've been doing, you had no idea that Homeland Security was gearing up for your ass. But hey, Cardi, be careful because, the feds, they're on you, girl. Don't slip. Don't slip. You can fall like how you fell off that chair, but don't slip because evidently the feds, they are up Cardi's you know what. And initially when this happened, I laughed for days and I keep going back looking at the article, keep looking at their response, and I'm like, God damn it. The feds are on Cardi. So in case you guys are still confused as to what I'm talking about, not to worry. I'm going to enlighten your darkness. You guys know that Cardi B is on her Little Miss Drama tour, right? And she kicked off her show. Her show is doing well, by the way. There are a few artists that popped in to support her, like Normani. Tyler showed up for a quick minute. Khalani. Kelly Rowland, and just a few. Not many artists are gonna show up at Cardi B to support Cardi because, Cardi B doesn't get their respect. You know, they'll respect her hustle, but not the craft for some of them, right? Some of them, they believe that the show is like, Cardi has too much mess going on with Stefon Diggs, and some people just don't want to be involved in the mess. Some people just want to keep their side of the street clean and keep it moving, you know? Not everyone wants to be a part of the mess, and it's nothing personal. And that I can definitely understand because I would never go to a Cardi B show. For me, it's just messy. I can't think of Cardi B having a balanced mix at her show. And it's not just Cardi B, quite a few other people as well. I would never go to their show because for me, it would not give a balanced mix. Like, I can see myself going to a Brandy and a Monica show because there would be a balanced mix of people, not so much ratchetness, you know? But they're just some artists you would never go to their show. I can't see myself going to a Cardi B show. I can't see myself going to a Megan Thee Stallion show. I can see myself going to a Doechii show because I love Doechii's art. I can see myself going to a Doja Cat show because she's truly artistic, and every time I see that girl perform, Doja Cat, it's just art. From the outfit to the presentation on stage, it's just art. When I see Nicki brings back memories. Nicki gives pride. She gives conquer. She gives, I did it. I did that. I did the impossible. You know, coming from the Caribbean as an immigrant, and for her to be like badass, one of the baddest things in the industry, so bad that many males, they didn't even want to stand in the same room as her. Many males, they didn't even want to collaborate with her because they were so fearful that Nicki would just outperform them. Even some of the greatest male rappers of all time, they're now admitting that a lot of artists never wanted to be, you know, on the same track as Nicki because they were like, man, she goes really, really hard. I can see myself at one Nicki Minaj show or maybe two, but I can't go to that show consistently because of her fan base. They're just too wild. The Barbs are wild. I kid you, absolutely not. The Barbs, they are immature, they're wild, but they're very smart. Like, when you look at the Barbs are just a set of smart asses. And I can't stand them for it. They'll switch things on you like that in a heartbeat. And if you're not paying attention, like the Barbs, they are a different kind of fan base. And I noticed that you have two set of Barbs. You have a mean ratchet ass set of barbs. They're just mean and they're just ratchet. But then you have another group of barbs that are just highly intelligent, and they'll play mind games with you from now until tomorrow, and you'll never catch up to it. And I think those are the barbs that truly understands Nikki, because that's how Nikki is. Nikki will play mind games with you from now till yesteryear, and it's going to take you quite some time to catch up and to catch on onto what she's doing. Like what she's doing now with Trump. It's all mind games, and like the more people crash out about it, the more she has fun with it. Nikki, let me tell you something. Nikki is an artist in many directions. Not just when it comes to her craft. Nikki's truly an artist. You know that there's going to become a time when you guys are going to realize what Nikki's now doing today, and you guys are going to ask yourselves, why did y'all take it so serious? And Nikki has no control over the amendments. She has no control over the laws or anything that is being made. You guys are going to ask yourself, why the hell did you took Nikki so serious in this era? You guys are gonna realize how funny Nikki is, trust and believe. But Nikki's just protecting herself and her family. But back to Miss Barney B, because she's another one. She has two different fan base too, but most of her fan base are women who are highly delusional. They think just, body. Like her fan base kind of reminds me of my Young Miami fan base, just hella delusional and hella materialistic, like, but they're funny too. No, so as I was saying, Cardi B kicked off her little Miss Drama tour the other day, right? And this girl, you know, a lot is going on with ICE and all of that. So while Cardi B was on stage, she decided that she was gonna take a jab at ICE because, you know, a lot is going on with ICE that a lot of people don't like. And I don't know how you guys did not see this coming. How do you guys did not, like, how is it that you guys did not see this coming when Trump told you guys what he was going to do if he was elected? And the man got elected and he's keeping his promise. And I see people crashing out. Why did you vote for him? Let me tell you something, guys. Even if they stole the election in Trump's favor, there had to be a lead. And when I say there had to be a lead, let's say Kamala had won, right? If there wasn't a significant amount of vote for Trump, they couldn't have stole the election because they know that it would have been too obvious and it would have caused nationwide rebellion. So there were leads, which means that Trump got at least more than quarter of the population to vote for him. He got more than 25% of the people to vote on his behalf. So I don't know how you guys are mad when he told you what he was going to do and he's keeping his promise. You cannot deny it. Yeah, I know you guys are shocked by it. You know, I'm shocked by some of the things that I see Trump doing, but not all of them, right? But let's get into Cardi B and the feds, because Cardi B, be very careful what you do after this, because if you slip, they're coming for you. So as I said, she was on her Little Miss Drama tour out in the desert of California. That's where she kicked off, right? It was the first tour on Wednesday. And she said that, if ICE comes in the building, she got some beer mace in the back for them. Her and her fans, they're gonna jump ICE and they're gonna beer mace them, right? So that little portion of her show, it went viral because it was funny. It was funny. Some people are saying that they believe Cardi B was serious. I don't think she was serious. I don't think she had beer mace to hand out to fans to beer mace my ICE and for y'all to jump ICE. I don't think she was being serious, because I think Cardi B is smart. When it comes to some things, she might be a fool for men, but she's not entirely a fool when it comes to the political ring. I think she has some amount of knowledge and understanding of what is truly going on. And she knows that people's lives are in danger. So I had to switch angles there for better lighting. But as I was saying, guys, so Cardi B, she knows what's going on in politics. So her comment about having beer mace in the back to, jump ICE, should they come into the building to take away her fans? She was saying, ICE, you ain't getting my fans. So the clip went viral, of course, but the feds, they weren't having it. Homeland Security, like hell, they weren't having it. And I think they were being funny too. I think they were equally being funny too. So they spoke in response to Cardi B, and they said, so they were asked about Cardi B's comments, and they said, as long as she doesn't drug and rob her agents. You guys know where it's coming from. They say, as long as she doesn't drug and rob our agents, we'll consider that an improvement over her past behavior. Oh my God. No, you guys know that Cardi B has a history of drugging and robbing men. And when we talk about it, oftentimes she'll crash out, because that's what I call it. She'll crash out and say, yes, I did drug and rob men, and I'll do it again because I ate their asses. And then give her 3 to 4 hours after, you'll see her on the arms of Stefon Diggs. It's true. So when she said that, and ICE was asked, the feds and Homeland Security, they're all one and the same entity, right? So they were like, oh, that's okay, as long as she doesn't drug and rob any of our agents. So that is them basically taking a hit at Cardi B's strippers past. So Cardi B basically evidently she felt some kind of way. She felt some kind of way because when she heard about their response, when they said, once she doesn't drug and rob their agents, like, come on, Cardi B. I don't even know why she would respond to that, because how are you going to get to drug and rob ICE agents? How are you going to get to drug and rob Department of Homeland Security, Cardi Ho? But evidently she felt some kind of way, and she says, if we're talking about drugs, let's talk about Epstein and friends drugging underage girls to award them, while y'all don't want to talk about the Epstein files. Oh baby, they're talking about it partially. They're talking about it partially. They're playing mind games with the public when it comes to Epstein files, because they want to protect their friends. And as Pam Bondi says, which is true, Pam Bondi says, what is truly on the Epstein file, America is not ready for it. America cannot deal with it. And that's what I've been telling you guys. And it's not just America. The world is not ready for it. The world is truly not ready for what is on the Epstein file. The world is not ready to deal with it. Guys, I promise you, if you know what is on the Epstein file, you would never allow your child to have their own room. You would never allow your child to play outside again. You would never especially allow your child to go back to school. You would never allow your child in a doctor's office. You would never, there would be a complete shutdown. You guys would say it's a lie, even when the videos are there to show you what happened. And as I've said to you, if you want to get, I remember when I came across this young lady, it was a church service. I was invited to the church by one of the church goers, because she ain't no Christian, and that's just the truth. She's no Christian. She's just a church goer. That's true. She's not a Christian. She's just a churchgoer, but she loves the church. And she was telling me that it was going to be a special Sunday, and she believes it was this prestigious pastor who was going to be there. And the young lady who came to the church, she was trafficked, and she was a survivor. And she shared some details, and she said some of it cannot be shared. And there were moments she was down on her hands and her knees bawling, and she fainted just telling her story and just telling what she witnessed. And she was a human traffic survivor. She was trafficked. She lives in Jamaica. She's from Jamaica, born and bred. And the story was horrific. I remember after that church service, I was lost, because while I've heard it before, to know that someone in your country has experienced such horror and how she survived. She did not survive because she thought she would have survived. She said it's best that, when she, escaped, and it was her, the cliff and the ocean, and she said, what could be worse? That's what she said to herself. She said when she was looking down the cliff, she said, what could be worse than jumping off this cliff? She said nothing that she experienced could be worse than jumping off that cliff. And she jumped. And after she jumped off the cliff, she never knew anything else until she woke up in a house and she thought they have captured her again. And she started screaming. And when she realized she wasn't in a house, she was in a hospital. They found her. She washed up on a beach and they found her. But she realized that after she jumped off that cliff, she realized that she had memory of swimming. And at first she didn't remember that. She jumped off. She swam. She came across something that was floating in the ocean. I don't remember if it was a buoy or a board, but she came across something and she was clinging onto it, and her memory, she had like blocked memory because of so much trauma, but it came back to her. But she cannot sleep alone. She cannot stay by herself, and she cannot go into cars with stranger, and you cannot brush on her, and it's horrible. It's horrible. So, I mean, as Pam Bondi says, America is not ready for what on the Epstein file, and it's not America. The world is not ready for what is on that file. And Prophetess Celeste had given some quick synopsis into it before it was released. And she said the world is not ready for it. She said, and I'm not going to tell you guys in word what she said. But just imagine Porta Potty Dubai, all the horrible things that you've heard about Porta Potty Dubai. But imagine the little people. Just imagine. Well, on second thought, don't imagine that. Don't. So, with Cardi B talking about the Epstein file and them not wanting to release it, they gave a portion of it. That file is so heavily edited, like it is laced with a lot of mischief as well. The file is laced. The file that they released, I can tell you it's laced with a lot of mischief as well. They'll never give you the truth. And I said it's going to take someone to truly reveal that file, maybe the next 20 years. It could be less, but I do believe it will be made known to the world. And I believe it's going to take a hacker to actually hack into that system and to release the true Epstein file. And when they release it, I don't know how y'all are going to deal with it. I don't know how you guys are going to deal with it. I don't know how we're going to deal with it as humanity. But we're going to realize that not everything that looks like us are like us. But, Cardi B and Homeland Security, that was kind of funny. That was really kind of funny to see how they were clapping back at her. It was really, really, really funny. But with the Epstein file, I don't think she should have said anything in response, because the government these days, they're too petty. They're very petty. So I would say to Cardi B, just be careful. Walk the straight and narrow path, because if you slip or slide, They're gonna come for you, sweetie. They're gonna come for you. But that's all I have to share about that for this video. Peace.